What's up everyone, it's Charles here with Rocket Punch Army to do a review of the Bandai Soul of Chogokin GX-31V 40th Anniversary Voltes V. That's right, they're celebrating 40 years of Chogokin. Not 40 years of Voltes V, but 40 years of Chogokin. And it first started with this little guy here 40 years ago. That's the first Chogokin ever made. And here we are 40 years later, celebrating the anniversary. So here's the front of the box. The reason it's in a plastic bag is because this is the collector packaging for BBTS. They'll handpick a box that's in good condition and then put it inside an outer box. And the link to Big Bad's Toy Store is down in the description below. So we're going to take it out of this plastic bag here. Now before I continue on, I just want to give a big shout out to my viewers over in the Philippines, including Patrick, who has been very eager to see this review. So Patrick, finally I'm getting around to it. But here's the box. It's got some nice gold foil going on right here. It's got a matte finish on the back with the shiny robot part here, similar to the rest of the 40th anniversary boxes. Now the back has more of the usual pictures and Japanese, which I can't read, but I decided I want to use my translator to read this here.
チャールズはボルテス 5T バッグを着用しています。彼は紐で綺麗に見えると思う。
Have no clue what she's saying, but I'm sure it's really cool stuff. Alright, the contents. Let's see what we got in store here. We got a full color instruction booklet, which is actually pretty thin compared to a lot of other Soul of Chogokins. We also have this clear tray here full of spare hands and all the little stand pieces and all the accessories. You got the sword there and all the other various things that are included. Then we have the styro tray itself. We want to remove this cardboard piece here to check out the contents. So once we cut the tape all around, I usually leave one side on so I can just flip it open like that. We see Voltes V laid out very nicely. I love when Bandai does this. They put the little styrofoam bars to protect everything and keep it from slapping around inside the box. One of the biggest differences was in this set from the last release, which is similar to this one, is this one happens to have a metallic, it's like a deep metallic red finish, which I'm sure will look really awesome. And I'm going to do a comparison between this one and the previous GX31. So what I've done here is taken all the pieces out of the styrofoam tray. Now you'll see there's tons of pieces laying out, and that's not even including the tray full of tiny accessories. So what I'm going to do is show you all the different pieces in here in the individual modes. The first vehicle we're going to take a look at is the Volt Cruiser here. Right, as you can see, it's pretty tiny but highly detailed, and yes, it does include some die-cast metal. I just love the details on this. Going from Transformers, you guys know I'm a Transformers fan. I do Transformers videos, usually you know, the Masterpiece and Deluxes and stuff. And then just going from that to this, it's universes away. If you guys ever get a chance to deal with the Chogokin, and I mean like one of the bigger sets like this, you guys would be blown away if you're not, if you haven't ever messed with these. So here it is anyway. It's got the metallic red paint, and I do want to show you the difference between this and the previous release. I'm not going to do all the vehicles like this, but so you can see what they did here. The previous one had all the decals like you would find in an old toy, and the new one is just plain. So it's meant to look a little more realistic. You'll see this one's got a yellow canopy, this one's got a blue one. And speaking of the canopy, it does open. Now if we look up close, you can see the pilot in there. He's painted red with the blue cockpit. I know it's not incredibly detailed, but you really have to understand how small that is. For scale comparison, that's an MP22 Daniel figure right next to it, and it looks huge compared to it. And here's a clearer zoomed out shot for you. Now another little amazing feature of this set is the landing gear. See this little landing gear back here? It folds right up. But what's amazing is this little one right here, and it's actually a little die-cast landing gear piece there. It's just so tiny. Look at that. Now it also has some accessories that clip on. You'll see there's a little notch there. There's little knives that clip onto the sides. Unfortunately, they have them on a sprue here, and I don't really want to take them off. But you can see that they're beautifully painted. It's not just a silver, it's almost like a chromish finish to it. So that would enhance the look of this and give it a nice little weapon here on the wing. I did check out Gold's review from robotjapan.com. He did state that you have to be careful with these little wheels back here because they can pop off. I mean, really they're minuscule, they're held in with like a rivet, but I can understand due to the size they may end up popping off, so you want to be very careful with them. Also with the front here. Now next one I want to check out is the Volt Bomber. What I'm going to do is actually pull out the landing gear here and also attach this landing gear. It's got these little O-rings on the around the posts here so they can just wedge in. So go ahead and wedge those in there, and the same thing for the other side. It's an awkward little vehicle. It's obviously the arms of the robot, and just check this out. It actually even rolls with those tiny little tires, and here's what it looks like from behind. So like I said, it's a little awkward vehicle, but it looks pretty cool. It's got these little plastic wings, which the little wings here are actually really soft plastic, so I guess that's so you don't break them, which is a nice feature, but they still hold firm enough to look fine. Next we got the Volt Panzer, which is another awkward looking vehicle. You guys got to remember this is vintage old school super robot stuff. A lot of this stuff was pretty strange looking, but can't knock it because it's still a great design. So it's a tank like figure. It does have working treads. One of the cool little features on this guy is these little claws that come out right here. You can get them on both sides, and the claws actually open up just like this. Next we have the Volt Frigate. Obviously, again, is that this forms the legs. It's still a cool looking vehicle, but it's very old school looking, which is right up my alley. We'll take a look around back here. It's got the yellow wings. It's got these nice little booster kind of missile things here. These little antennas here are made out of a soft plastic, and you'll see that it has a little bit of give. That way you're not going to really break them if you hit them by mistake. And of course it's got the retractable landing gear. Also up front here, it's right behind this little yellow piece. Last but not least, we have the Volt Lander, which is actually the feet just connected together here, and it's the most blinged out of the set. You'll see there's tons of chrome right up here on top. If you take a look at the back, you see the boosters back here. One of the interesting things is these antennas here. They've also made these out of soft plastic. Now when you go to pull them up, they're a little tough to pull up, so don't do it from here. I stuck something underneath the very base of it to lift it up, and then I helped it along from down here, not pulling from up here. Even though they're made out of soft plastic, you don't really want to stress them regardless. What we'll do here is take an even closer look at the seats in there, and then also just examine that chrome, guys. Look at how nice this chrome is on this thing. Then if we look underneath, you'll see it's got rolling tires, and they also push in for when the robot's standing up so it doesn't roll away. You guys want to see something super cool? Push down on this, flip it around, you get Volt Lander drills right up front there. Alright guys, it's that time. Let's Volt in. So I've already pre-separated, but you'll see the way these attach. They just, these little tabs just pop right in, so all you gotta do is pop them right off. We're gonna bring the antenna down carefully. Then we're gonna fold these pieces in this way, which are gonna form the feet. Then we're gonna grab this guy here and flip this around, just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Help it along, and fold the wings in, then push the cockpit in here. And then these antennas you may just want to pop off, and then push these pieces inside, and they get released by hitting this button, should you want to go back to that. And we're just going to pop the feet in right here. Now when I showed you this guy, I forgot to have this flip down, but if you have it flipped down, bring this around to leave this space open. Then underneath, just push this back in. Then the treads are going to come around. Then we want to get this information here. Just unfold it this way to make the arms. Next we have to attach the upper chest here to that. You'll notice the red thing is here, the little cockpit area, and the yellow, and it looks like they're just going to collide when you go to push this in, but you have to trust Bandai engineering. They're not going to touch, even though it looks impossible for this to fit in there. But if we do this, pops right in. Next we grab the arms and place them over the top and snap this in here. Next thing we're going to do is add the little fin here, the chest piece on the front. You'll notice that it actually turns into his sword. It's a little clumsy because it unfolds, but if you want perfect transformation, this is excellent. For now, we're just going to keep it all folded up so you can just pop it right in here, and there's still space in there, even though that little red cockpit area is in there. But he does have a better looking sword, which I'll show you in just a moment, but we're going to pop this in here just to form his chest. Last but not least, we're going to form his head. It just requires folding of this here. You'll see the head is revealed. This stays like that. I know it's a little awkward, but that's how it is. This is a little magnet that goes on the neck. Place that right in there. Next we want to give this guy some hands, and he does have an assortment of hands. He's got the open type hands here. He's also got the weapon holding hands, and he's also got this kind of relaxed hand and obviously the fist. And to use those hands you have to remove these yellow pieces here and then attach the little ball jointed pieces to accept the hands. And the hands easily pop in. I'm going to do the weapon holding hand for the right hand here. Just pop that one in and leave the fisted one for this side. Now the only problem with that is that it leaves this one outrageously bigger than the other. So here's that sword I was talking about. It's a much nicer looking sword. It's got some beautiful chrome, which is much better than that silly fold-up one. So we're going to check that out. But for him to use this, you do have to remove this here, because that's what forms his sword. And that leaves a gaping hole. So they have a little piece here that you can use to fill that in. And we'll just go ahead and put the sword into this ginormous hand here. And it's actually a really nice sized sword. I can barely fit it in this screen here. Now there are a couple of other weapons I want to show you. He's got the Volt missile, which requires just plugging in this little piece here to give it the effect of him shooting missiles. And he's also got this weapon. This is the Chain Knuckle, which is a pretty badass looking weapon. Same thing, that plugs right into his wrist here. And it's an actual metal chain, so it's supposed to shoot out this way. And then he's also got the firing chain knuckle, which requires removal of this piece and attachment to this other alternate piece. It just plugs right in. And then take this off. Just grab this sucker here, pop this in. Make sure this goes all the way in the wrist. And then just pull back on the button here to shoot. Next we're going to check out the Voltes Bazooka. So what you want to do is straighten out his arm. Bring this around this way, just like that. Then attach this here, which has this, which looks like the hand is folded down and this has come out. And just prop it right in here. And the pose is quite similar to this. You'll notice the arm stretches out all the way in the front because there is an extension here on the elbow, which we'll check out during your articulation. Now I've taken the bazooka out of the arm just to show you that it does have a shooting feature. When you push the little hand in while it's hanging off of here, it will shoot out a missile. It's one of these 3 missiles. I won't be opening this because, like I said, I just want to keep my set fresh. But just so you guys know, in case you were wondering, this does also shoot these missiles. He's also got the Chogokin string here. You'll see it's just a plain piece of yellow segmented. It's actually not segmented, it's just got little lines to make it look like it's just patterned there. But it's just a little piece of PVC. You get 2 of them. All right, you can actually attach these things, these spikes here. You just pull that off, run this part through the square peg right there, then bring this piece over and then grab the little cap. Alright, and then you have the Chogokin Goma. Now Voltes 5 also has a mode called the Volt Tank. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in Volt Tank mode. Volt Tank mode is quite easy. You just pull the feet out this way, fold them like this. Take the upper half off, slide these treads out this way, and just bring them forward. Attach the yellow vents here, then stretch the arm out this way to create the double joint. Bring these red fins out of the way, fold it that way. Then put everything back together. And then you get this contraption, which is really just the robot just hunched over and folded about. Now it looks a little silly, but if you saw one of these in real life going across the street, I know you would say, damn. I saved this little beauty for last because it's actually going to attach to Volt Tank mode. So as you can see, it's got the same beautiful metallic red finish as the rest of the set. You get these little jet packs down here at the bottom. And this little piece here is the Chogokin Volt Control device, which we're going to attach right to this spot here. Alright, and then it's going to just pop right into the bottom, and it's going to go right in the back here. We're going to lift this up, and then this little gray attachment is going to go right in. It's going to slide right into that little box. And this is what the set looks like all together. So now that we've seen all that stuff, how about we check out some articulation. We have the head here, like I showed you, was on a little magnet, but it still is able to move around. Obviously hindered by this rest of the plane back here, but you know, it's what it is. We got the shoulders on ratchets, right? They're nice soft ratchets. The shoulders also come out this way to some amount and in and out. Move down to the elbows. You get the elbows this way, but you also get an extension here which allows you to have a double elbow. There's no upper chest or waist due to the design of these ships combining, but you do have hips right down here. Remove this out. The hips go out, legs go forward, right? These are friction kind of joints here. Then we got the knees, which are ratcheted. And then we got the feet down here, all right, which have a very good amount of angle movement here due to the transformation. They also rock back and forth just a tad. So as far as articulation goes, it's nothing that's absolutely groundbreaking, but for the fact that this is a bunch of die-cast pieces that combine, it's actually not too bad at all. Most people are just going to display this anyway. And I wanted to show you how he compares to the regular GX-31V, which is here on the left side. This is the 40th anniversary repaint of this one. This one's cool because it does have like extra detailing. You get the little white bars going around the edge here, around the wrist, around the kneecaps. It's really just meant to look more like a toy, I guess. You got the number 5 here. Now, aside from the difference in paints, there have been some improvements. I don't know every single one off the top of my head, but I did notice that this rocks back and forth very easily, like it's going to topple over. And it never really topples over because the feet are kind of big. And I'll show you what I mean if we go down to the feet here. So this rocks back and forth very easily. This one doesn't. You'll see the feet move with it. And the hips, if we'll move right back up, and the hips on this one are actually kind of loose too, and not on this one. So they definitely improve the firmness of the joints. Even the arms, you'll see these arms are flimsy and these are nice and tight. Yeah, look at this. Now I'm aware that I have viewers that are into different things, but overall most of us are into robots. So for my Transformers viewers, just to get an idea of the size of Voltes 5, here is MP10. They're almost exactly the same, I would say exactly the same size. And here we have him next to Daltanis, which is an absolute effing beauty. And the crazy thing is, this is just, you know, just off topic here for a second. This guy was being sold on Amazon for $37. When he first came out, he was like $280, $300. For some reason, Amazon was smoking crack that night. Lowered it to $37, and lucky few out there got a very heavy die-cast beautiful figure. But yeah. Finally, the set does come with a stand, you know, to put all the pieces in, but I'm not a stand guy, you guys know that, so I'm totally going to skip that. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. If you're interested in this, he's pretty much sold out, and there's a shortage of this guy, so even people that pre-ordered weren't able to get it. But you may want to give it a shot. You may want to click the link below to bigbadtoystore.com. They're currently working on getting more, so you may want to check it out. You might get lucky. And if you don't find it, there's other cool stuff there for you to see. And as usual, if you're enjoying the videos, please subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. Leave questions or comments below. Until next time, bye-bye.